PlayStation 4 finally has a semi-realistic battle royale shooter in the form of the free-to-play H1Z1, but the question we need to ask is it as good as the original, the Xbox and PC masterpiece that is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? First, let me talk a little about my battle royale background. When first PUBG came out back in early 2017, I was intrigued. I liked the look of it and it looked a lot of fun. But I only had a PlayStation 4 and no gaming PC, so watching videos was all I could do. Then we had Fortnite Battle Royale on consoles, and for a couple of early weeks it seemed like we had our console version of PUBG, if in a lot sort of less realistic and cartoony world. I remember those early Fortnite chicken dinners or victory royales very fondly, but then Fortnite changed. Players realised that the building, the forts and the firing steps was just as important as gunplay and the final circle tactics you would use, and hence I lost interest in the game. When PUBG was released on Xbox One, I was so excited I persuaded my son to let me borrow his one long term, and from the moment I started playing PUBG I fell in love with the game. I've played PUBG a lot on Xbox, and I mean a lot. I've played over 1,500 matches, a mixture of solos, duos and squads, and I consider PUBG to be one of the best games ever made. I enjoy the look and setting of PUBG, the sound, the gunplay, and most of all the amazing adrenaline buzz when you manage to fight your way into the top 10, and the unprecedented adrenaline rush you get when you win the game. Your hands will be shaking, your palms will be sweaty, and you will feel like you have never felt playing a video game before. For the moment though, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is only on PC and Xbox, with the strong possibility that Microsoft will be paying the PUBG Corp and Bluehole an awful lot of money to keep it exclusive to those two platforms, leaving PlayStation out in the cold. But as we said, what we do have is the free H1Z1 Battle Royale, a PUBG clone that promises faster gunplay and improved performance, but can it really fill that yawning gap that the lack of PUBG on PS4 leaves? Can H1Z1 tempt me back from the green fields of Xbox to the cool blue lagoons of PlayStation? I've got to say that my first impressions were that the game runs very well. On my base PS4, H1Z1 zips along at 60 frames a second with smooth movement and has never crashed while I've been playing it. There's been no rubber banding, no problems with assets loading in, no obvious glitches or invisible rocks to smash in while driving. This is a real improvement on the frames per second laggard that is PUBG, with its regular crashes, jelly mould buildings and seemingly random game-ending vehicle explosions. However, I've already said that despite all these optimisation problems, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is my favourite game ever. So does H1Z1 have similar gunplay and gameplay? The answer is not really. By dropping you onto a random part of the map with the first circle already visible, H1Z1 is taking away a big chunk of your strategic choices, the choice to drop hot or to go into a quieter part of the map. From that point on, H1Z1 is fun. You know, you run around looting, but the real powerful weapons are in the supply drop, so it pays to find a vehicle and hunt them down. The game makes this easy by marking where cars are on the map, again lowering the skill ceiling versus what PUBG has to offer. The shooting is more than acceptable, with shotguns dominating up close, but there's plenty of jumping around in close quarters, creating a comic effect to gunfights that rather detracts from the seriousness of the game. The environment you're playing in is pretty bland too. Everything has been smoothed over to achieve that fast frame rate, and it doesn't look as realistic as PUBG. I'm sure we'll see more dynamic maps as H1Z1 develops, but until then, Erangel and Miramar are much more interesting places to fight. H1Z1 is more akin to the arcade mode in the mobile version of PUBG. Think of H1Z1 as a light version of PUBG, but don't make the mistake of thinking that H1Z1 is anywhere close to the full game of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. PUBG is a semi-realistic shooter in the way it works, the way that the environment is, whereas H1Z1 is much less so. If PUBG is Battlefield, then H1Z1 is Call of Duty on a bad day. PUBG is an assault rifle with 5 different attachments to find and use, whereas H1Z1 is an AK with a red dot already fixed onto it. So, for me, I prefer the look and feel in gameplay of PUBG. I've got a PlayStation 4 and I've got an Xbox, but given the choice, I would always much rather play PUBG than H1Z1. Now, this doesn't mean that H1Z1 is a bad game, and in fact, if you're on PlayStation, it's the only semi-realistic battle royale at the moment, so I'd say play it and enjoy it, and fingers crossed, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds comes to PlayStation 4 soon. Anyway, that's enough from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit like if you did. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Put your questions and comments down below. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.